everyone, today we are going to discuss one important derivation, that is obtain an expression for fissionability parameter in terms of critical z square by a based on Bohr-Wheeler theory, one of the nuclear physics, important derivation of nuclear physics. Let's go to solve this, obtain this. Bohr and Wheeler put forwarded the theory of nuclear fission. They consider a nucleus to be analogous to a charged liquid drop. Bohr and Wheeler are the two scientists that put forwarded this theory. They consider the nucleus to be analogous to a charged liquid drop. The forces in the nucleus are short range and charge independent between the nucleons and the Coulomb repulsive forces between the protons. The nuclear forces are compared with the surface tension of liquid. Here we are comparing the nuclear force with the surface tension of liquid. For comparison we have taken that nucleus has the nucleons inside that. Nucleons means proton plus neutron, which has the nuclear force, we know that. Then for comparison with liquid drop, liquids have molecules inside that, then they have surface tension. Nucleus before bombardment with neutron, how it looks? It's spherical surface having the axis of symmetry. If nucleus is bombarded with neutron, is first stage A, in that we are taking a nucleus having the radius of r. In stage B it's goes some figure like this. After that C, and it comes to the critical stage. In that, after that they will become two nucleons, smaller nucleons, which have the radius r by 2 and r by 2. Axis of symmetry is constant throughout fission and they are considered polar axis of spherical coordinate. Here axis of symmetry is constant throughout the fission. Then now step 1, the distorted radial coordinate on the deformed nucleus is considered by using Legendre polynomial of differential equation. We know the Legendre polynomial of differential equation, that is r of theta is equal to r naught into 1 plus summation L equal to 0 to infinity alpha L PL cos theta, where theta is the angle, polar angle, and r naught is the theta is the polar angle, and r naught is the radius of the original and deformed spherical nuclear droplet, and alpha L is the deformation parameter. We are assuming the deformation parameter is small. Then PL cos theta is the Legendre polynomial for different L value, where L is 0, 1, 2 up to so on. Now we are going assume to that if alpha naught is equal to alpha 1 is equal to 0, then theta becomes nearly equal to 0. Then equation 1 becomes like r of theta is equal to r naught into 1 plus alpha 2 p2 plus alpha 3 p3 plus up to so on. This is called equation 2. We know that total energy can be expressed in terms of attractive force plus Coulomb repulsive force. Surface energy of the original nucleus is surface energy of original nucleus means before deformation. E of S naught is surface energy of original nucleus is equal to tau into S, where tau is the surface tension and S is the surface area. We know the surface area S is equal to 4 pi r square. Here we are discussing for the original nucleus there, then that's why we are taking r naught square. Then 4 pi r naught square into tau. This we already know. The surface energy of the deformed nucleus is given by E of S is equal to, for deformed nucleus we are taking tau into integration of ds. It's equation number 4. According to Bohr and Wheeler, the surface energy of the deformed nucleus in terms of deformation parameter alpha L. We know that deformation parameter is alpha L. Bohr and Wheeler are giving the surface energy term like E of S is equal to E of S naught into 1 plus 2 by 5 alpha 2 square plus 5 by 7 alpha 3 square up to so on is equation number 1. The first term in the above equation is the surface energy of the undistorted drop. In equation number 3 here S naught that is taken to equation number 5. And similarly, the Coulomb energy of the deformed drop is determined from the expression, that is E of C is equal to half into integration of V into rho into d cube R, and E of C is equal to half into taking this as V naught rho naught d cube R, taking plus integration of taking first term as it is V naught and taking differentiation of rho naught, then it's become tau rho dqr plus same as it is half into differentiation of taking both term differentiation dou v into dou tau into dqr, equation number 6, where delta v and delta dou v and we can also call this as delta V and delta rho are charges in the electric potential and charge distribution due to deformation. Delta V is the electric potential and delta rho are the charge distribution. Delta. Now V is equal to V naught plus rho V is and rho is equal to rho naught plus delta rho. It is also assumed that integration of V naught into delta rho into dqr is equal to the rho naught integration of rho naught into delta V dqr. What it means that the deformation is such that the deformation energy V naught delta rho in changing the charge density by delta rho at a constant potential V naught. It's a charge density and V naught is a potential. We know that is writing in words only, is equal to deformation energy of rho naught into delta V in changing the potential by delta V at a constant charge density rho naught. The first term in equation 6 is electrostatic energy of an undistorted uniformly charged sphere and is given by, in that first equation of the equation number 6, that is half into V naught rho naught d cube R. We are taking that as 3 by 5 Z square by R naught. This term we are calling as Coulomb energy of original nucleus, that is E of C naught, denoted by equation number A. Then second term in the equation number 6, that is V naught delta rho d cube R, we are considering that as minus 3 divided by 8 by Z square by R naught alpha 2 square plus alpha 3 square plus up to so on is equal to E of Cm. This is energy due to monopole redistribution of charges. Then third term in the equation number 6, that is half into delta V delta rho d cube R. We are writing this as 9 by 8 by Z square by R naught summation L equal to 2 to infinity 1 divided by 2L plus 1. Then alpha L square is equal to E of Ci. This is denoting as equation number C. Substitute BC in equation 6. Therefore, EC is equal to A of C naught into 1 minus alpha 2 square divided by 5 minus 10 by 49 into alpha 3 square is equation number 7. From equation 5 and 7, we can write total energy of deformed nucleus. That is, we know the total energy. How to write? Total energy is equal to attractive force plus Coulomb repulsive force, that is E of S plus EC. Then is E of S we have find out in equation number 5. We are taken that E of S naught into 1 plus 2 by 5 alpha 2 square. We are taking only considering here only the alpha 2 deformation parameters. Then plus equation number 7 having that is E of C term. Find out that EC here is that E of C naught into 1 minus alpha 2 square by 5 we are taken only for the alpha 2 deformation. We have put those two terms in the total energy. Then we got ET is equal to multiply E of S naught into 1 E of S naught plus E of S naught into 2 by 5 alpha 2 square. Then plus E of C naught into 1 minus E of C naught into alpha 2 square by 5. Consider this as equation number 8. Let E of T naught be the total energy of the undeformed nucleus. We also consider the undeformed energy. How can we write the undeformed energy? That is original energy of the original total energy is equal to original energy of surface term plus original energy of Coulomb term. Let us consider this equation as 9. Let delta E be the change in the energy due to the deformation. Then delta E, how we can write change in the energy, that is original energy minus changed energy. E of S naught Et minus E of T naught. Then put the values of E of S naught and Et and E of T naught. Et is we have the values of Et in equation number 8 and the E of T naught in equation number 9. Then substitute those two and cancel the terms which are opposite. Then E of S naught and E of S naught are opposite and the E of C naught and E of C naught have opposite signs. We have cancelled. What is left? Delta E is equal to here 2 by 5 alpha 2 square E of S naught and EC naught alpha 2 square by 5. Here alpha 2 square by 5 is common, that's why we are taken alpha 2 square by 5 taken outside. What left? 2 into E of S naught minus E of C naught. We have left this much. Let's consider this as equation number 10. Now we have to find out the feasibility parameter. That's why we have to find that delta E is positive if 2 into E S naught is greater than E of C naught is stable, and delta E is negative if 2 E of S naught is less than E of C naught is unstable. For feasibility parameter we have the formula, that is Z square by A whole divided by Z square by A of critical. Consider this as equation number 11. To find Z square by A of critical, consider delta E is to be 0. If delta E is 0, then 2 of S naught is equal to E of C naught. We have taken that equation number 10. Delta E is 0, then what will be remain? That is 2 of S naught is equal to E into C naught. Put R naught as R naught A to the power of 1 by 3. 2 into E of S naught surface term. We have surface term, that is 4 pi R naught square A to the power of 2 by 3 into tau is equal to 3 by 5 Z square. This is the Coulomb's term, Z square by into E square divided by R naught into A to the power of 1 by 3. In terms of R naught, we are taken the R naught into A to the power of 1 by 3. For Z square by A critical is equal to, we have to take that Z square out and A to find out the critical energy. Taken this side, then 5 2s are 10, 10 4s are 40, 40 pi R naught square into tau divided by 3 into R E square. This is, here one is R naught, here is R naught. Okay, this is nearly equal to 50 is called equation number 2. If Z square by A is less than or greater than or equal to 50, it is unstable. Z square by A is less than 50 stable nucleus. Here we got the feasibility parameter.